the suspect was wearing. Whether or not that will lead to anything, we'll have to wait and see. Thanks very much for that, David. We might come back to you a bit later on, but in the meantime, let's get the thoughts of Michael Alcazar. He's a retired NYPD detective and hostage negotiator. He is an adjunct professor at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Thanks so much for joining me, Michael, to talk about this. So you were listening along to that news conference as well. What did you make of it, and what stood out to you most?
Well, I was surprised because initially they didn't want to release the image of the suspect, and recently in a few hours they released the image. So it sounds like they are struggling to identify the perpetrator. They're hoping that the public can provide some information, especially with the clothing that he's wearing, his walk, his gait, his sunglasses. So they're waiting for somebody to provide a tip that'll be probative, that can help identify this person. They do have evidence. They do have DNA evidence, fingerprints, I'm sure, from the weapon that was recovered. But that is a process before they can identify who the weapon belongs to. So I think time is of the essence. They don't want to waste time. So they're hoping for some good tips that can come in that can help identify this person. I myself saw social media images of this individual, and I don't know if you saw it, but the image I saw was that he was limping. So now it makes sense because I see this video of him leaping off the roof of that building. He potentially could have injured himself. And again, that could help identify him if someone sees that video.
Yeah, it's remarkable to see this sort of footage in broad daylight, just climbing down from this roof and dropping down onto the grass before making his way across. You'd have to think, or you'd have to hope, that someone may have witnessed that unusual behavior, you'd have to think, given where he was, what he was doing. What will the authorities then be looking to sort of, does this increase this, now that so much time has passed, does this mean that they have to expand their search area and expand the resources that they're using to try and find him?
Yeah, sure. There's always the potential that he could have left the state. We saw that happen with Luigi Mangione. We thought we were going to catch him really quick, and it took, several days, and it took the tip from somebody seeing him in a restaurant. So I guess this is what they're hoping for, that someone can identify this person. And yeah, again, time's of the essence. It's been about 24 hours. They don't want him to get away any further. They don't want him jumping in a car or traveling across state lines. So yeah, so they're distributing his image, his video, so we can get a quick tip and hopefully apprehend the suspect.
Are you optimistic at this point in time, given how little information we kind of have other than the images that we've seen?
I think so. I think they're going to apprehend him very soon. The images are good. Somebody's going to recognize him. A family member, a friend, and then, acquaintances, co-workers. There's a huge tip on the line. I think someone's going to give some good information that authorities can work with.
Yeah, and I suppose it really is a bit of a cat and mouse game. We just don't know how long that could take. In your experience, though, has manhunts become easier with the prevalence of so many people on social media, on cameras everywhere, and surveillance, that it's become easier to track down and find people in instances like this?
Yeah, I'm confident that's exactly what they're doing right now. They're canvassing all video surveillance. They're tracking his movement. Ring door cameras if he's walking by a residence. And now that his image is out there and his video is out there, there's going to be more tips. And hopefully they're good tips that they could work with instead of, bad information. Some people just want to call in and give bad tips, to perhaps because, they don't support Charlie Kirk. So that's something else that they gotta, comb through. So it's a lot of information that they have to go through.
Yeah, and just to get your thoughts, we heard in the news conference just the two people speaking there. We saw FBI Director Kash Patel, but he didn't speak at all. And we also didn't see any questions being fielded to reporters that were in the room. And there still are many questions that remain. Why do you think that was, that the briefing was, well, in effect, so brief?
I mean, it could be that they're keeping their cards close to their chest. Maybe they have information that could lead to their arrest. Maybe it's happening right now, or they just don't have any information, and this is what they need right now. They're relying on the public to be the eyes and ears out there looking for this perpetrator.
Yeah, and what would you think? What do you think they will be doing then? What's the next step, and how much in terms of resources are you seeing being put into this manhunt?
Well, they have the federal authorities helping out, and they said the U.S. Marshals and, of course, the Utah City and State Police. So it's a massive manhunt. They're distributing these photos and videos to other police agencies. I mean, the whole world's seen what this guy looks like right now. So it's just a matter of time before. And again, it does sound a little desperate, but it's just a matter of time before hopefully someone calls it in, identifies this guy, gives a location. Now, if this guy's also watching us, right? This perpetrator, so he could be holed up somewhere, and maybe that's why the investigation's kind of gone dead a little bit, because they can't track where he's gone to. So he might just be in hiding right now. So, and again, that's something that's going to make it more difficult. Again, that's when witnesses will come into play, canvassing for video surveillance, any kind of like electronic data. I don't know if they can ping phones in the area. So this is also technology they can use.
Michael, thanks very much for your expertise and insight. Michael Alcazar there, retired NYPD detective and hostage negotiator. He's an adjunct professor at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice.